The world you see on the news is not the full story. Behind the cameras, behind the handshakes, lies a hidden power. A power that doesn't run for elections. A power that doesn't answer to the public. Intelligence agencies, the CIA, the KGB, Mossad, MI6, RAW. Names that send chills through history. They don't just gather information, they create history. 1953, Iran, a government overthrown. A Shah placed back in power. 1973, Chile. A president removed, a dictatorship installed. Who pulled the strings? The CIA. But America wasn't alone. The KGB played the same game. Propaganda, espionage, assassinations. The Cold War wasn't just about armies, it was a shadow war. And the battlefield was truth itself. Reports, rumors, secrets whispered in dark rooms. How many wars were born from intelligence reports that turned out false? Iraq, 2003, weapons of mass destruction, weapons that never existed. But the world still went to war, because intelligence agencies made the world believe. And here lies the dark truth. They don't just control enemies, they control their own people. Mass surveillance, disinformation, psychological warfare. The NSA and CIA watched millions of Americans. Phone calls, emails, every move online. And it wasn't just the US, Russia, China. Every major power has its own watchers. Mossad strikes in silence across the Middle East. MI6 whispers in the corridors of global diplomacy. RAW rises in South Asia, countering Pakistan's ISI. Each one shaping nations, bending destinies. These agencies are the hidden governments of the world. Not elected, not debated, but powerful enough to topple leaders, to start wars, to erase truths. And you, the ordinary citizen, never see it happen. Headlines tell you one story, but the real story is buried in secret files. The leaders you vote for set the stage, but intelligence agencies are the invisible directors. They destabilize nations with rumors. They ignite wars with lies. And sometimes they decide who lives and who dies. Do governments control their spy agencies, or do spy agencies control governments? What happens when spy agencies outgrow the governments they serve? They stop being servants and start becoming masters. Take Russia's FSB. It rose from the ashes of the KGB. Today, it doesn't just watch threats, it shapes the entire state. Politicians in Moscow don't question the FSB, because questioning them could mean exile, or worse. And what about the CIA? The agency was created to protect democracy. But over decades, it has manipulated democracies abroad. Iran, Guatemala, Vietnam, Chile, countries reshaped with coups and chaos, all in the name of American interests. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Those decisions weren't made by presidents alone. Often they were pushed forward by intelligence operatives, advising, pressuring, sometimes deceiving their own leaders. So, who really makes policy? Is it the people in Congress, or the analysts in secret rooms at Langley? Now look at Israel's Mossad, one of the most feared agencies in the world. Known for precision assassinations, known for infiltrating enemy states, but also accused of manipulating global narratives, leaking stories, feeding the media, shaping how the world views the Middle East. A single Mossad operation can alter regional politics overnight. In China, the Ministry of State Security, the MSS, has turned surveillance into an empire. Billions of cameras, AI-driven monitoring, a population watched from the moment they wake up. This isn't just about stopping spies. It's about control. Control of thought, control of speech, control of entire societies. When the MSS labels someone a threat, their life can disappear in an instant. No trial, no evidence, just silence. And while the East builds walls of surveillance, the West plays another game, disinformation, planting stories that tilt elections, pushing narratives that justify wars, convincing citizens to fear enemies, enemies that may not even exist. This is the dark truth of intelligence power. It doesn't only live in shadows, it reaches into your home. It shapes what you read, what you hear, what you believe. Because in the modern world, wars aren't just fought with guns, they're fought with information. And those who control intelligence control the world itself. The deeper you go into the world of intelligence, the more you realize, power doesn't always wear a crown. Sometimes it hides behind classified files. Sometimes it whispers in a president's ear. And sometimes it kills without leaving a trace. But here's the question no one dares to ask. If intelligence agencies hold this much power, who is holding them accountable? Think about it. When the CIA runs covert wars, who approves it? When the FSB silences journalists, who speaks for them? When the MSS spies on entire nations, who dares to resist? Often the answer is no one. Because these agencies live above the law. They are the law. And when they choose to act, governments tremble. Elections can be swayed. Leaders can be removed. Nations can collapse. All without the public ever knowing the real reason. That's the terrifying beauty of intelligence power. It's invisible. It's deniable. It's unstoppable. But there's another layer. Agencies don't just fight wars for countries. They fight wars against each other. CIA versus KGB during the Cold War. Mossad versus hostile states in the Middle East. ISI versus RAW in South Asia. And now, cyber agencies waging silent battles online. Hackers backed by governments. Spies hiding in data streams. Viruses built not to destroy computers, but to cripple nations. Imagine a blackout across New York City. Or a virus shutting down London's banking system. Not with bombs, not with soldiers, but with invisible code. This is the future of intelligence warfare, and it's already happening. So, where does that leave us? Are we safe? Or are we just pawns on a giant chessboard, moved around by unseen hands? Here's the truth. The wars we hear about on the news are only half the story. The real wars happen in silence, in meetings behind closed doors, in encrypted chats, in shadows where no cameras reach. And the outcomes of those hidden wars decide the fate of nations, decide the fate of millions, decide your fate. So next time you hear about a sudden coup, a sudden assassination, a sudden war, ask yourself, was this really politics, or was it intelligence pulling the strings? Because in today's world, presidents may sit in power, but it's the spy agencies who control the game, and the game never ends.